You're listening to the Retro Mo Podcast. I'm your host, Mo, and I love to play and review old video games and a few new games too. If you prefer to read instead of listen, check out my written reviews at retromo.substack.com. In this episode, I'll be sharing my experience with Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle for the Nintendo Switch, released in 2017. I've scored this game 7.5 out of 10. A good game. A quirky but lovable turn-based tactics game with Rabbids. I started Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle years ago and fell off, but I recently came back to the game and finished the main story mode. While Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle may not scream Mo game, it certainly is a solid turn-based tactics game with plenty to enjoy. I'm not sure why I nearly bounced off this game with no intention of completing it until my daughters became obsessed with it, because I do enjoy tactical games like Final Fantasy Tactics, Advanced Wars, Ogre Battle 64 to name a few. There are a few problem areas I struggled with though. The game starts very simply, which makes it a great baby's first tactical game, if you will. But as they slowly introduce more characters and new game mechanics, you find by the mid or late game that there's just not quite the same level of strategic depth that a game like Final Fantasy Tactics has. I'm not a tactics game super nerd by any means, but I did find myself losing interest a bit by the beginning of World 4. Levels started to feel repetitive and a bit like a chore for me. I had some fun with the variety of weapons and skill tree upgrades, but in order to take full advantage of that variety, you have to spend a lot of time grinding coins and orbs by replaying old levels. I had no interest in doing that whatsoever, so I mostly stuck with the same three characters the entire game: Mario, Peach, and Rabbid Luigi. If you want to use more than a few characters, you have to grind for coins and orbs in order to upgrade those characters to a usable level. Again, I have no interest in replaying old levels. I mean, I barely managed to play through the game's 36 levels one time, so I was not able to employ the entire cast of characters to help me complete the story mode. And this certainly would have helped add some strategic depth to my experience. I would have loved to use Luigi more on certain levels because he's a long-range specialist, but I only ever had enough coins to keep my main squad's primary and secondary weapons upgraded as more powerful options became available. The difficulty may be a point of contention for some. The game starts fairly easy if you understand basic tactical gameplay, but by World 3, there are some significantly challenging levels. You eventually reach a point where it seems that your characters just don't have enough health, and they don't do enough damage. I can only assume they've designed this game with the intention of pushing you back to replay old levels in order to grind up coins and orbs. Alternatively, you can just press Y at the beginning of each level to activate Easy Mode, which gives your squad 50% more health, a massive bonus. Perhaps they added this feature after feedback from frustrated playtesters. I have mixed feelings about the optional extra health bonus. While it allows you to get past tricky levels without grinding for coins and orbs, it feels like cheating. Aw, you poor thing, you can't beat this level? Here, have an outrageous amount of bonus health. It reminds me of the white Tanuki power-up from Super Mario 3D World, which appears after you die in the same level 5 times in a row. Wow, you're really bad at this game. Here, have a power-up that makes you completely invincible. Is that better? I mean, it feels like a slap in the face. The bonus health in Mario Rabbids is overkill. It doesn't just give you a little boost to get over a difficulty spike, it completely overpowers you. So, your options are do some grinding to beef up your team, or take the bonus health and effortlessly cruise through the level. I'd rather they just balance the game to not require grinding. I'm not against an easy mode, casual mode, story mode, whatever you want to call it, but perhaps they could just reduce the bonus a bit. Start by giving the players a 25% health bonus. Then increase the bonus to 50% after a failed attempt. And of course, there's always the option that some of you may be thinking right now, just get good, noob. Interestingly, Ubisoft seemed to have swung the pendulum too far in the opposite direction with sparks of hope, as the main criticism seems to be that the game is too easy. Aside from the game's strategic simplicity and some balancing issues, Mario Rabbids is still a solid tactical experience. I enjoyed thinking through my turns and maximizing my damage output while trying to take as little damage as possible. Rabbid Luigi's Vamp Dash is the real MVP in this game, and Peach's heal came in clutch for me so many times. It's also incredibly satisfying using Mario or Rabbid Mario's melee hammer. Bam! There are some very clever boss battles that help to break up the repetitive monotony of the gameplay, and a few of the later puzzles in between levels really stumped me. I had to check a guide on YouTube for at least 2. How did they come up with some of these puzzles? If you're not a fan of puzzles, you may find them to be more irritating than fun. The visuals are a strength of the game, especially for a Switch title that came out during its launch year. Performance was solid, except for some FPS dips in some of the Icy World levels. The cute animations and story sequences are really where this game shines. This is also why my daughters are obsessed with this game. They absolutely adore the goofy noises and crazy antics of the Rabbids. I had no prior experience with Rabbids before this game, and I didn't initially see the appeal, but seeing my daughters laugh and giggle after each animated sequence really helps me to understand a bit more. The paths between each level are mostly linear, so exploring isn't really a strong feature here, but there are some fun sights and scenes to discover as you work your way towards the next level. There's never a shortage of goofy Rabbid antics along the way. Initially, I thought the story was much too convoluted. Even though I was very impressed with the animated opening sequence, the game's premise is laughably absurd. Supermerge, space-time anomalies, a benefactor from the future. And yet, through it all, I think Ubisoft pull it off. Spawny, in particular, is a really cute piece of the story. In very Nintendo fashion, the story is really just a means to an end. It's tongue-in-cheek, it's not meant to be taken too seriously, and it serves its purpose to carry you from level to level. I was surprised to find that Grant Kirkhope composed the soundtrack. This rare legend is known for giving us classic scores like GoldenEye 007, Perfect Dark, and Banjo-Kazooie. While I didn't find Mario Rabbids' soundtrack to be particularly memorable, it's still a solid score, and there are some nice whimsical themes throughout. Overall, I finished Mario Rabbids' main story mode on a positive note. In spite of the mid to late game slump, where I grew a bit weary of the repetitive battles, I'm still glad I played through to the end credits. The final boss sequence is well executed and worth the effort to get there. If you like Mario, or Rabbids, or turn-based tactical games, or all of the above, you'll probably have a good time with Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Thanks for listening to the Retro Mo podcast. As always, I do my best to keep all of my content spoiler-free and rated E for everyone. If you find this podcast enjoyable or helpful, tell a friend and consider giving a 5-star review on your favorite podcast app. If you have questions or comments, you can send an email to retromopodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening. Godspeed.